And we have Sue and Aaron Singleton here to guide us in a little bit of a healing evening, I guess. And please sit back and relax and plan to get healed. Now, before we get started, there's some controls that I'd like you to take a look at. And I'm going to share my screen with you so your screen looks like my screen. And all right, and so your screen looks like my screen. There. Okay. Now, it doesn't have a nice picture of Sue and Aaron in front of you, but still, here's what your screen looks like. Now, there are some things up here. There's a microphone up on the top of your bar, and a microphone is currently muted. Um, and if you were able to unmute it, then you could mute or unmute from here. This is your video feed. If you want to see your video feed, you can start the video by clicking this or stop the video by clicking it. This is a screen sharing thing, and this is a whiteboard. Please don't use them. That's kind of a pain in the neck. If you do, over here there'll be a hand in your thing. There's a question. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. However, the Singletons have asked that we hold the questions. They will be doing feedback later on after their presentation, and they will be answering the feedback that you give from the chat. And I'll show you where that is in just a moment. Telephone here is for you to hang up if you care to leave. Over on this right side now, there's a chat. This chat is open and closed. This closes it. This opens it. And then down here in the bottom, where it says enter message, you can leave a message. And at the end of the program, they want to find out your feedback to the healing experience that they've brought you through. Here you can look and see who's on the list, who's on the call today. Right now it looks like there's 33, and you can see that number up here at the top, or somewhere here. I don't see it handy, but you'll see it. And this is just information. This is the settings. If you want to make your screen full screen or part screen, you click on this to make it full or make it part. This is a very important thing here. This is gallery view or speaker view. Now, what you want it to do is be in speaker view. Now, how you know it's speaker view? It's easier to know if it's in gallery view, because if it's in gallery view, then everybody's all in the box the same size. And if it's in speaker view, then there's somebody speaking that'll be big in your big picture in your screen, and then little tiles on the bottom. What I would suggest doing is coming over here to Sue and Aaron from the speaker view and see your mouse, hover your mouse over them, and you see there's a pin there. It says there's a mute and pin. I would suggest pinning them. That way, they always show up as the speaker. As we go on later on, we might change it. So that's pretty much how we're going to do it. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And okay, so I think we're all set. So without any further ado, Aaron, Sue, Aaron, the floor is yours.
Thank you,
Thank you.
So, hi there, Sue and Aaron Singleton here from the Way to Balance Center for Advanced Healing and Training in Amesbury, Massachusetts. And we're so happy to be here continuing the program tonight. And this evening, what we're going to be focused on is helping you with a medical intuitive group healing, which we do very frequently. This is really about relaxing your body and mind and clearing anxiety. And so what we're going to be doing most of the time is focused on a number of things related to that. And you will likely notice yourself relaxing and feeling better. And one of the things that's kind of key, people can have old anxieties and fears, or they can have recent ones. And certainly, in terms of COVID-19, there's that, and there's the media coverage of that, and there's all the racial tensions that have always been there, but now they're really coming to a head, coming to the forefront. So there's a lot of things for people to be anxious and nervous about at this point in time, which is why we thought it would be a very good topic to cover tonight. And so this is something we're used to doing. We love doing it. And so Aaron may have some things to add to what I've just said. But one of the things that we're going to do, because COVID-19 is so prevalent right now, is to also project the energy of that to all of you so that you can see where you may be feeling that, a resonance with it, so meaning that you may have some issues with that.
All right, so one of the things that I did at convention years back is I sent energy out into the room. And I just asked everyone to identify where they felt that in their body. And people were raising their hand and saying where they felt it. And we didn't tell them what the energy was. And we're going to do that same thing with you tonight, because when we know what's coming and we have a perceived conception of it, we can block it. Okay, so that's the whole premise of this, is to let's send some energy out, see what you feel, where you feel it. And when I did this at convention, I actually sent out the energy of precancerous fermentation. And I had a gentleman come up to me later and say, I always feel energy, and I didn't feel the energy coming out. And then when you told us it was precancerous fermentation, I was like, oh my God, I didn't feel it. That's great. So that's the type of thing that we're going to do for you tonight. And we have a lot of things that we're going to be sending energetically, a lot of things that we're going to be working on, parts of your body, parts of your brain, your energy fields. So we hope to get some good feedback from you, something that you can share with everyone through the chat. So let's start with that right now. We're just going to send the energy. And it's a matter of where you feel it. And there's going to be some of you that don't, so don't worry about that. So those of you that are typically sensitive, don't worry about it. So send that energy out right now. No. When you start to feel it, go ahead and chat. Let us know what you're feeling, where you're feeling.
And you type it right in that chat. Feeling it behind the eyes.
Okay.
And Tick, someone's having problems getting audio on computer or phone issue. Eyes, sinuses,
Solar plex.
solar plexus, yep.
Pulsing between the eyebrows. Okay. Area of chest.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Some of that feedback that's helpful. Intestines, upper chest, throat. That's all very good feedback. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So there might be some of you that are not feeling it or not. Virus. All right. Now, if we go back in time 100 years ago, viruses and bacteria matching the frequency, and then of you may not even know that you have been exposed. And this is the thing.
It's show.
It is in these areas of your body, meaning it could end right there, or if you're feeling this energy right now, yes, you have been exposed. So do everything you into something else, and even to a post COVID-19 syndrome, which there's already talk about. The anxiety that everyone is going through. All right, so let's release some that are causing you anxiety in the present moment, but also think about the things that have caused you anxiety.
COVID. On our biomorphicgeometry.com website, there's a free download. You happen to be exposed or have gotten ill with it, helps the recovery process. So that's a free download on that.
The frequencies to come up into the body, and it's not only for COVID-19, so it's like going does a whole lot more than that.
Yes.
All right, so thoughts, some of those thoughts have less intensity to them.
Mm-hmm.
You start to feel your body relax.
Bodies, there's at least 9 mutations of COVID-19 at this point that have been identified scientifically.
And also, just because we have antibodies doesn't mean we have immunity. body relax a little bit. So you could put that in the chat.
Hips are relaxing. Okay, great. Anchored in the thought field. Headache went away. Thanks.
Good. All right. So electrical signal goes through a voltage gate. Okay, because it's right. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to a time in your life that was pre-stress and anxiety. And so let's say you started having stress and anxiety when you were 2 years old. Then we have to go back to when you were 1 year old. We have to go back to when you were 2 months old. Or we may have to go back to when you were in the womb or even pre-birth. And we're going to take the energy and information of no stress, bring that into the body in the present moment. So we're going to be doing a little shifting things in time. So we'll go back and we'll pick up the hologram and the holographic information of what it was like to not have stress in the present moment.
Yes. And there's violence in there, you may internalize it. So a lot of people in their intuitive growth go through a time. We encourage people to move past the empathic, which is where you're internalizing it, and become a compassionate observer. So try to remind yourself it's not real when you're but try to be the observer rather than take that in through your eyeballs and internalize it.
Yeah. I mean, several years ago, I wasn't afraid of anything. You know, she walked through the house in the dark and tunes with one or two of her siblings. And in this video, it was the sound that, like, there were shadows on the wall as one of the vegetables, because, you know, you get, but I can imagine. Okay, so she was watching that, and whatever. And as a result of watching VeggieTunes, she developed a fear. Okay, now she was not afraid to be in her bed or in her bedroom in the dark. Seemingly innocent as that can affect us years over and over again, things like that.
It's not about the COVID reports or all the horror. Is that
As VeggieTunes.
Yep.
All right. So stress energy, but I feel it's starting. So that pre-stress energy coming into your and all the way back, if that stress came in when you were in the womb,
or a prior lifetime. So for some people, everything has been family that they did. Pre-uncalmness and pre-unpeacefulness. Yes, and in that case, we really need to go into prior lifetime. Some discomfort. Some of you are noticing a coolness and a stream of cool water. Empty with no agenda. Nice.
all right, beautiful.
Feels blissful. Fantastic. And birth and everything has been that. So we often do have to take it
We're talking about, okay, and the
stress
stress
in
in
the
the shoulders.
It welled up and then
Into it, give it some extra energy to move.
I think we're starting to be in the dark.
There we go. That's better. There, better.
Some stomach discomfort. Yes, this is perfect.
All right, so now we're going to take this a little deeper. I talked about quick glimpse at it. This is the post-traumatic stress relief card. We're going
Not be from something horribly violent. It can be from something or have had something that caused something on that spectrum
put that post-traumatic stress on while you were in the womb because it was really something that your mother was going through. Even that first time of separation from your mother, first time of going to to, watching 9/11, sitting there watching the TV, 9/11.
obviously all the recent things huge in people's minds. Now one person on mom when she actually during her pregnancy she just loved to swim and she's swimming in a pond on a daily basis. And one day at that point that I named, her mom was swimming and a beaver started swimming towards the mom. And the mom, on some level, was convinced that this beaver was about to attack her and kill her, which, of course, the beaver would not do that. But she was so terrified, she swam to shore and jumped out of the lake as quick as she could. Well, that affected the baby. So then the baby internalized it as her own fear. And I believe she was in her 30s when I did her reading and subsequent healing, and it all cleared. It wasn't even hers, but she had internalized it. So yes, that can definitely.
The moral of the story is don't go swimming in a beaver pond.
While pregnant.
While pregnant. Never know what's going to happen.
No, I'm sure the beaver was just a little nearsighted and didn't see her because they definitely do not want to approach and attack a human. They're very shy. So it's just a nearsighted beaver that needed glasses.
All right, so we're going to go out into your bioplasmic field next. Now, your bioplasmic field is an energy field about 6 inches off your body. This is one that has been scientifically measured. So it's a data field. It holds a lot of information. So if someone has phantom limb pain, leg pain, arm pain, they lost in the army or in an accident, the memory of that is still held in the bioplasmic field. So the pain is still there. So we go into the bioplasmic field, release the energy and information, and then the phantom leg pain goes away. So there is a device. I mean, you can get the wires attached to your head, and they can do the brain. But there is a medical device that they can go 6 inches out in your field, and they will, if the wires were attached to your head. So that's your bioplasmic field, roughly 6 inches. So out your fears and anxiety that are being held there, that's what we're going to clear from that field right now. Had a soldier, well, she was a soldier, and she got out because she got her foot crushed. Multiple surgeries, and quality of life was just in the pits because she couldn't walk, she couldn't. And of course, with the programs they have now, they gave her a prosthetic. She could developed phantom foot itch. Now, when you've got phantom foot itch,
Yeah.
so we were able
to clean up her bioplasmic field. Relief. But yeah, can you imagine just a constant itch that's as bad as
at 10 photons per square centimeter per second is going out and reading the information in your bio. Back in as your DNA is sending out that light and it's reflecting back. In specific areas of your body as it's cleared from your bioplasmic field.
caught up with that, it's going to keep sending messages into that area. You have a exchange, and if that data is not coherent or it's not up to date,
Mm-hmm. Okay, slight tingling in the right knee. Okay, something. Okay, we have someone else holding anger in their back or their kidney or their liver.
that's good. Let it happen.
Okay, that again as your body's releasing. One of the things we want to do right now is get the diaphragm opened up more and the lungs opened up more, because that is also part of how we hold stress, because what we do is we lock up, we don't breathe.
Yeah.
So then we hold that physically in the lung tissue and through the diaphragm through the midsection. So I'm going to start loosening that diaphragm. So that means you'll probably be getting more bubbles and gurgles through the diaphragm and chest. Some of you may be blowing bubbles in other ways. That's why we do distant healing.
And at the moment, obviously, everything's distant since early to mid-March. So everything's distant, the private sessions as well as all the group things.
Can you get the same healing effect in a recording of your session? We have found that yes, you can. So in the DVDs that I've done the past 10 years or so at convention, people report the same healing. So there's no reason that, you know, if you're doing this or sharing this with someone,
Zoom or Callbridge, but some of it's totally remote, where our half-hour, what we find is because it's a half-hour, we can get so much more done when we're doing. There's just both that, and then our private healing sessions are like, and the medical.
and if some of you feel that you need more help, especially with, but remember, types of stress, not just post-traumatic type stress. So the day-to-day work stress, you can practitioners, you can use it to work on your clients. And the DNA will a picture at the body. It can be put under a massage table or a person to
moment or so. And so for any of you, sites are the way to balance. Started an 8-week immune boost is Sunday.